Welcome everybody. You're tuning to Unam Radio. I'm your host Murapo, and today we are going to talk about mental health. And with me, I have a special guest. Her name is Pamella. She's a psychology student. So Pamella.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Would you briefly just tell us what is psychology?
Well, speaking about psychology is a scientific study of the mind and behavior. It explores how people think, how we feel, how we act in both individually and in groups. Yes, and we psychologists seek to understand mental functions such as perception, cognitive function, and emotion and motivation, and so on.
So what inspired you to pursue a career in psychology?
When I think back on it, I was really curious to know what people think in certain situations. For example, when someone commits murder, like what goes through that person's mind? What do they think about? And also, we have to think of. I also want to know, like, what pushed them to do such an act,
such a point.
Yes, to such a point where they feel like murder is the only solution, or like maybe suicide. When it comes to suicide cases, an individual is always like alone. They have no support, and they're fighting this battle by themselves. So I just really want to understand, like, what emotions, what thoughts go through that person's mind for them to actually give up on life. Yes.
So don't you think maybe it's somebody encouraging them at the back of their mind to do such a move or something?
Yes, certainly. Some people actually have this other side of us that's always telling us to actually do something that's very bad, and another side that's actually telling you to do something good. So maybe it's that voice behind them that's telling, do it. It's the only solution.
So that's why you're here, right? That's why we have you.
Yes, that's why
to find out.
To find out.
So were there any pivotal moments that influenced your choice of specialization?
Yes. That moment was when I realized psychology could actually be applied in workplaces also, in terms of like a worker's behavior and how to improve the work around an organization. For instance, industrial psychologists that actually specialize in workplaces, in industrial places, they actually have to look at the environment, the people they're in, at work, and they have to also look at like what drives these people to actually do their work, to actually be able to do their work, and like what really discourage them to actually perform well in workplaces. So, yeah.
Okay, so how do you think society attitudes toward mental health have changed in recent years?
Well, society has become more open and accepting to mental health. But as much as society is opening up, society fails to understand the importance of psychology around them, basically. Like, for instance, if you were to tell your mother that, oh, I'm not feeling well today, your African parents will be like, as small as you are, what kind of problems would you be having at such an age? You are not married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not in a relationship. You don't have kids. What could be causing you Yes, and also employers and schools are beginning to actually see the essential in mental well-being in schools and in their workplaces. For instance, like I've mentioned, the industrial psychology, where they look at the well-being of the employees. And then like in schools, most schools are actually really seeing the importance of mental health. In most cases, that's why we have like, currently at our school, we have a counselor, right? And in the primaries, we have like life skill teachers where you can actually go to and actually talk about the difficulties that you're facing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think that society tend an eye away from a boy child?
Oh, society really does turn an eye from boy child. For instance, in African context, I'm going to talk a lot about African context because that's what we are learning right now. Well, when it comes to African context, a boy child is raised as like in households, boys actually, their race is like, you should be strong. A man doesn't cry.
Yes.
You should hold it. You should like hold your emotions in.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get angry, that's why they become so violent, because they were not taught how to actually express such emotions. Yeah. So boy child, they suffer a lot in African households.
So basically, in an African household, the boy child is left alone to figure it all out by himself.
Yes, exactly. Because like as a man, they'll be like, as a man, who are you telling such problems to? You are a man. You should be figuring it out by yourself.
And like, what about the girl child now?
Girl child, girls, they are protected a lot. I'm not gonna lie. They're protected from society, and they're just like coded in.
You know, they say ladies are more stronger compared to men when it comes to handling emotional problems.
Oh, it's actually true, because we women are very expressive. We're very expressive. Where you guys be like, oh, you're so moody. Hello, I'm not feeling well, so I have to express it. I have to express my emotion. So yeah, and in expressing like that, we just actually really become strong, because we like adapt to this type of feeling. Just like,
so you guys are emotionally strong, but you are emotionally still protected by society.
Yeah.
And men are not emotionally strong, but they are not emotionally supported by the society.
You see that? That's so biased, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we should like have a men empowerment or something.
There are a lot of boy empowerment things, actually. It's just that in Africa, men are actually told to hold it in, right? So so when we talk about like, when a guy says like he has a problem and he tells his bras, they'll just be like, bras, suck it up, you got this and stuff like that. And in those programs, you wouldn't, males don't really bring themselves to actually join these programs that we have for males, because you'll be like, bruh, like we are going to, and what is this event to actually talk about your problems? That's so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what impact do social media and technology have on mental well-being?
Well, the impact of social media, it really depends on how social media is used. There are positive and negative sides. For instance, the positive side, like some individuals like actually experience the same, like when you're on social media, you actually find someone that's experiencing the same thing as you. So you guys bond over that, and you guys support each other and help each other overcome that certain situation. However, the negative part is like comparison, where you see someone on social media living a better life than you. You'll be like, oh, I wish that was my life. And then you're just demotivated. Yeah.
You know the old saying, comparison is a thief of joy.
Exactly. You see? And then there's another one is cyberbullying also. I mean, that really plays with the person's mind. Yeah, negatively. And then,
So, how do cultural differences influence psychological treatment and diagnosis?
Good question. Cultures affects how people actually express emotions and seek help. For example, how we were talking about the boy child. Like, as a boy, you can't really express your emotions.
Yeah.
Understand? But then it also really affects how you express yourself. In how you to seek help. For instance, in culture, like if a married couple is actually experiencing difficulties in their marriage, they have to go to the elders, right? And there, the elders they will have to tell the elders about their problem, and the elders will actually give them solutions. But in most cases, the solutions that they're giving is not really the ones to help you. So it makes seeking help really difficult. Yeah. So, and another one is also, sorry.
Just continue.
I just remembered. The other one is also like beliefs and values. It's not as a belief. Boys cannot be there crying. You have to be a man in African context.
So, what advice would you give to someone considering a career in psychology?
One advice would be also to genuinely be curious about the course, about psychology, about how people think, how they feel, and how they behave. And another one is like, be prepared for lots of reading. There are so many theories in psychology, since psychology is so broad, and it's not yet, we're still figuring it out, like how why people behave in certain ways and why certain emotions are caused and stuff like that. And then there's a lot of research also to be done, especially from our side, Namibia, because like psychology is still new in our country. We don't have a lot of information. So there's going to be a lot of research for that. And also critical thinking. You got to think out of the box also. And you should also be willing to keep learning more. And and patience. You got to be patient also.
So you have to be patient, hardworking.
Yes.
And more consistent.
Consistency.
Yeah, to keep up with the good work. So, what's the most surprising thing you have learned about human behavior?
The most surprising thing I've learned was that, growing up, people were just like, when someone is behaving in certain way, be like, oh, why are you like that? And they'll be like, I'm just like that. Turns out people actually aren't born the way how they behave, actually. They develop this behavior based on their surroundings, their environment, their friends. That's where the peer pressure comes in and all those type of things. It turns out you're not born with it. It's just the environment that you're in.
You carry along the way.
Yes, something that you carry along the way. And it's actually what you decide to keep. Understand? It's what you decide to keep. You can choose to change, but most people don't really want to change because, I don't know.
So what advice will you tell your younger self?
My younger self.
Yeah.
Well, be yourself. Be yourself and don't be easily influenced, because that's what changes. That's what actually affects your behavior. My behavior.
So, growing up, did you ever have a state where you were just emotionally broken down?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't really remember.
Okay.
But maybe, I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's it from Pamella. And also that's it from the Unam Radio. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.